Hi everybody, this is my first video from my new place. I've been in my new apartment now for about 3 weeks plus. I'm close to 3.5 weeks or so, and I just love it. I love it, love it, love it so much. I feel so much lighter. I feel like a big burden has been lifted off my shoulders in terms of like responsibility and also just the cost of living in a huge place that we're not using all the rooms. It doesn't really make any sense. And something that I was kind of a little bit worried about was, what's going to be like for the cats. And the cats are actually now like outdoor city cats, believe it or not, because the back, you enter our apartment from the street, and then you go down one floor, and then we have like floor 1 and 2, because there's kind of a hill going down, and the back side of the house and our balcony is facing kind of like a park-like area that looks, it's kind of like living in the suburbs. So, and I walked them on a leash to start with, and I know like as soon as they even saw as much as a jogger out on the big road, because they did go up and look, they turned the other way. So I'm thinking there's so many bushes, and so one cat has been out like the last, like for 10 days now or something, and he goes out, and we let him out and in and out through a window. But now I've also ordered like a little bit of like a cat ladder that we can have off the balcony. Otherwise my daughter gets bothered in the night, from the cats, wanting to get in through her window, and she doesn't get much sleep. Anyway, so that's kind of like all worked out, and I know I'm going kind of against the norm, letting a cat out in the city, but I'm not like in the middle of the city. They can get up to a road where there's lots of traffic, but it's so obvious that it's scary to be there because there's always traffic there, and so many noises, and there's ambulances, and I'm pretty close to a hospital. So it seems like I'm taking the risk, because for 10 days, for 2 weeks or so, the cats were happy, and then all of a sudden, especially one of my cats really started to cry. He was just devastated about being locked up. And I just could not keep him in. And now he's so happy. There's so much bird life out here. He catches mice. He's in heaven. So I'm glad I did this. And I know that people have other opinions about what I've done, but I just believe that they might have a shorter life, but they'll be much, much happier. And I think they can handle, we lost our other cat out in the suburbs. But I don't know what it's like in your countries, but in Sweden there's very much a division, like in the cat community, like between indoor cat people and outdoor cat people. And it seems like the indoor cat people think that the outdoor cat people are stupid, and vice versa. I can myself see both sides. I can't have an indoor cat. I know I could probably get a cat like a rag doll or some kind of cat that loves being indoors and never has been out and therefore doesn't miss it, but it just feels like it goes against a cat's nature. But then the indoor cat people say, but no other pets are let out. Like dogs don't roam around freely, neither do rabbits, neither do any other kind of animal, so why should cats get that freedom? I can't argue that. This is the way I feel about it. Anyway, enough of that. I just wanted to come online and just kind of get going again with, interacting with you guys. I miss it. For the first 2 weeks, I barely had time to think about perfume because I was just getting the whole place organized for my son's graduation party. That was 10 days after we moved in, to just get rid of all the boxes and get things up on the wall so that people could actually be in here. It's kind of one of these... that's my kitchen there behind. It looks almost like a bathroom, but it's the kitchen. So it's kind of a mess. Sorry, guys. But it's a nice kitchen. And then it's kind of like, this is kind of the living room, and it's all together. And there's the cat tree, and I have a balcony there. So, and then I have there's 2 bedrooms. Excuse me, I missed this microphone. Now you should be able to hear me. I'm sorry about that. I use a little microphone because the sound is so bad otherwise, but it's pretty bad quality. I didn't pay much for it, but it does make a huge difference to the sound. Now I have two bedrooms back behind here for the kids, and then I have a little upstairs, so it's kind of a little bit like a townhouse, and I have a bedroom for myself, and then we have one extra room that's kind of like a little living room where I've put a bed so like a guest could come, or my oldest son, when he comes home, he can stay there. And then there's a little French balcony upstairs. So, I mean, it's just perfect for us. It's just so convenient. And right now I'm using the wash house of the apartment building. And there's like these two like standard size washing machines. And then there's like a huge one. And then there's like a huge dryer and a drying cupboard. And it's like you can get everything done like in 2 hours. Like it's so convenient. And then we do have washer and dryer here as well. But it's kind of a little bit smaller and we don't have much room to hang things. Anyway, I'm so happy, but it's been a lot. I've been happy, but also my nerves, I'm kind of like on edge. I'm a little speeded up. I feel like I haven't quite put my feet, I haven't quite settled. So I feel like everything is new, you know, where we shop for food, where I go to the gym, all our routines are new. Like sleeping arrangements, everything. And there's several things that I need. I have some projects that I need to do. There's no closet space in the hall. So for winter, we definitely need to address that. So I'm considering doing kind of a bigger project. You have to kind of build it in. Like I'll have to have like a tailor-made, because it's kind of it's not a perfect size. You can't just buy like a big closet and put it there. It's going to not look good. So there are a few things that need to be done, and there's some painting that needs to be done as well. And I would just wish it was all done, but it's fine. I'm thriving. And then I'm also had, before I get into the perfume stuff, I just had a job interview the other day, and it's a job that I really want. It's a CEO position, but it's not for a company. It's for like a nonprofit organization that actually helps people start companies and helps people grow companies. And they're all over Sweden, and it's kind of they get some what is it called, grants from taxpayer money, and then they also have some sponsorships. So it's kind of about spending that money wisely and maximizing the help you can give people, and then being kind of a lobby organization for people starting businesses, because I feel that they've helped me when I started my business at one point, and I've been a mentor in their programs. I've been a speaker at their events. I know them. And I just felt like when I saw that they wanted a new CEO, I was just so excited. And we'll see. I'll probably find out if I'm among those who go to the next level within a week. Anyway, something really interesting I noticed when I moved in here, and that was that I had no need to try new fragrances like the first 10 days. It was just too many new impressions, too much excitement, too many unsolved sort of problems, issues. I was very stimulated, if you know what I mean, mentally. And so I did put perfume on, but I more tended to reach for things that I know well. And what I have worn, it's been kind of summer weather. I've worn Capri from 1969. Actually, I went into a shop. These have now come in a small size. This is a 100 ml bottle, but they have come now in 30, which is a really good size. And there's a shop in Stockholm called Jus, J-U-S. They sell the small ones too. And the person in the store said that this house, her opinion of the house was that the fragrances have depth, but they wear lightly. And I'll have to agree, because this does have depth. It's all layered. First you think, oh, this is a really orangey freshie, but it's not. It's not only a freshie, because it has these layers and things that come out underneath. It's really such a nice freshie that is interesting as well. I mean, it has like orris and osmanthus, angelica seeds, and ylang ylang, and then it has all these like orangey like notes in the top, some spice. It's a great fragrance. So I've had that, and then I've also worn my fairly new, one of my latest purchases. This is the latest purchase I've done from a store anyway. This is kind of I kind of think these remind of each other, but this one is an orangey freshie, and this one is more of a lemony freshie. Because this also has a really nice base. I think this is just beautiful. I'm sorry, I thought I saw something on the bed. It must have been my cat. My cats also hang out on the balcony, which is really nice. And they watch birds out there, and they crawl around on the fence. Then I actually did a kind of a bargain. There were two designer fragrances. I guess they're all three designers, actually, technically speaking. One of them was this one, Iris de Syracuse from Boucheron. It's kind of their more exclusive line. It's pretty affordable, this line. And then I got one bottle of Hypnose from Lancôme and a Montguerlain EDP, 100 ml size, all for like 600 crowns, which is 60 bucks. And I gave those other two fragrances to my mother-in-law because I know she likes that type of fragrance. She seems to prefer designer fragrances in general. And I gave her a decant of this as well. And this one came without a top. But I have a friend that just ran out of a bottle of this, and she's going to give me her top. So everything works out. And this is a good basic kind of semi-sweet iris. Would I have paid full retail? No, I would not. I think I've even maybe owned this before. I think I had an unsatisfyingly small amount in a huge bottle, which I really hate that when I have like a tiny amount left in a big bottle. But this is a nice kind of suede-ish kind of iris, a little waxy. It's kind of a standard iris, I think you would say, but very easy to wear. It's not like Iris Silver Mist from Xerjoff. It's kind of a slightly sweetened. Not as sweet as Iris Dragées from Lancôme, though. It's good. It's good. It's a good iris. I think that I'm going to be happy also spreading these around as decants to my normal friends, the ones who are not addicted to perfume, kind of like normal people. And what else have I worn? For my son's graduation, I wore Dhajala from Xerjoff. This is a favorite of mine that I always keep returning to. The closest perfume to this that I have tried is Ambra Calabria from Nichane, except that one is a little bit more, like, it gives kind of a carbonated feeling. It's a little sparklier. This one is more of a kind of a still. If that was like a sparkly drink, this is a still, flat drink. But this is a kind of a greenish amber that has like galbanum in the top, I think, or petitgrain, something like that. And then it has kind of ambery notes and florals. It's a floral fragrance, I would say. But it has a really nice base. I mean, this I would probably repurchase or try to find a secondhand when I run out. It's one of my favorite fragrances, and it always has been. I've never kind of been off of it. Dhajala. It's one of the Xerjoff fragrances I think least spoken about. I really don't know why, but I really, really like it. Then I have worn Arbolé from Hiram Green. Such a great patchouli, powdery, cacao type. I don't think it has cacao listed, but I think it's tonka, sandalwood. It's powdery. It's incredible. And then I've also finished a sample of Patchouly Boheme from Laurent Mazzone, which is an incredible. I just used the last few drops this morning, but there was hardly anything left. Those two are kind of similar, so I'm thinking, do I really need it? It only comes in 100 ml bottles, so that really bugs me. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just make do with this. This is so good, but this kind of has a little bit of a challenging opening. You kind of have to wait at least 10 minutes for it to kind of settle in. I prefer, I think, the Laurent Mazzone Patchouly Boheme to this. But this is natural, which I also think means something, and just an incredible little bottle. But they've now changed these bottles, and the new tops are made of cork, which is supposed to maybe represent a little bit more what the brand stands for, but I think they're not, I wouldn't call them ugly. I just think that they're a disappointment compared to these. This is a house that I would like to dig into a little more. I'm enjoying right now a sample of Trist, which is a really nice kind of chypre type fragrance. Let's see, what else have I worn? This I wore, when did I wear this? I wore this for Midsummer. This is a private collection from Estée Lauder, the vintage formula. It's not Eau de private collection, it's private collection, EDP. It is so good. This one has a really challenging opening. You really have to wait for it. You've got to wait 15 minutes until it kind of settles into the skin. But then it projects all day. It's both fresh, it's green, it's deep, it's satisfying. I just feel like $1 million when I wear this, honestly. I used to have this when I was young, but I enjoy it more now than I did then, I think. It's so, so good. Then one night I wore Journey Woman, and I felt like we were going out to a restaurant. We've been out to restaurants a lot lately, or like the first week. I just couldn't cook. I didn't know just working the stove was a challenge. Finding the stuff was a challenge, just everything. So me and my son, my daughter wasn't home yet then, we just went out and got food. But I remember wearing this Journey Woman from Amouage. It's such a satisfying fragrance, just like many other Amouages. But this is like, even though I typically don't like osmanthus, this is so, so good. It's, I don't know what else is in here besides the osmanthus, but it has a lot of different notes, and it has a nice kind of it's a floriental, I guess you might call it. It's so good. It probably has some incense note, maybe. I'm just guessing like patchouli, vanilla, maybe some spices, maybe. I'm not sure. I should look up the notes, but I'm just hadn't worn it for a while. But since now I kind of was reaching for fragrances that I already know. That's what I've been craving, kind of. So yeah. Then I also have I got a hold of a decant. This is kind of this is probably my most recent purchase. A decant of, or like a sniff, a little vial, 8 ml, of Narcisse Taiji from Atelier Materi. It's an Italian house that comes in these blue bottles with kind of a grayish cap. And I've spoken a lot about Cacao Porcelana that I've had for a while, a couple of years. But this fragrance is so interesting. It's kind of it's Narcissus, but it's also, it reminds me of Daphne from Comme des Garçons, which right now you can't get a hold of for some reason. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the notes, because this is a fragrance that was not for a love at first sniff. They sell it at our main department store in the center of the city. And I've come back and worn it a few times, liking it more each time. But there have been maybe some note that I've struggled a little bit with, and then I've gone back, and then it's kind of grown on me. And then I just I was about to buy a travel size, but then I saw this online for a good price from some person. I didn't buy it in a store. But it's really interesting. Did I not write the notes down of this? Maybe I didn't. I usually, I just think it's really, let me just check here. Siren from Fragrance du Bois I've also worn. Always get compliments for that fragrance. That is a good fragrance. I'm sure I've written the notes down on this one, because I've really thought about this one, and how interesting it is. And since you can't get a hold of Daphne, let me see. Maybe I have forgotten to take notes on this, but take my word for it. Go and try it on. Of course not. But this might not be for everyone. I'm not sure. I'm actually going to spray it now, just to kind of remind myself what it smells like. You have to wait for it. But it's like, there's something a little bit smoky. There's something a little bit spice. There's a little spice, some kind of spice. It's not spicy, but there's something really, really good about this fragrance.
Hello?
Oh, hi, honey.
Hi.
I'm making a video. Can you,
Shut up.
Yeah, exactly. He said, you want me to shut up? I said, yes. I'm in the kitchen.
Okay.
I'm just going to wrap this up, babe, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, my son has started working too, so I've been spending a lot of time kind of by myself, because he works nights as a salesperson. I just thought I'm not gonna retape this, because I just think it's not. Oh, I wanted to mention a few other fragrances that I bought just before I moved. I got to, by chance, just to try Sarah Jessica Parker's Covet. I think I talked about this in a previous video. And I've also got a decant of Stash, and then I bought a bottle of Lovely. And this one I find really interesting, because it's kind of a lavender fragrance with some sweet notes, kind of my favorite category right now. But there is something a little bit plasticky about it. But I bought this for basically nothing, like $30 or something, plus the shipping, which was not very expensive. It has a little bit of a plastic toy note in there that I find a little bit disturbing. But it's nice. I think it has coffee. It has tonka probably. I find it interesting. And the funny thing about Lovely, though, is that the first time I wore it, I was like, this is so boring. This smells like tax-free. This smells like the most boring kind of a standard designer, really boring fragrance, like peony. Maybe it has some cedar wood. It just smells like nothing special. But, big but, I wore it the next time because I was just going to run errands. I was going out to IKEA. I was doing returning things, just boring stuff. And I just thought, I didn't know what to wear. I grabbed it, put it on, and then I found myself enjoying it so much, like all day. And I was like, I don't know what it is, but it's kind of like a powdery musk. But many compare it to Narcisse Rodriguez's musks. I don't know exactly which one. I think several of them. And I've never liked that DNA, to be honest, but this I like. So this was a very pleasant surprise, and this I got for almost nothing. It was like $15 plus postage or something like that. Really, really cheap. So I'm going to be exploring more into this. And I got the chance to try, what was it now again? Was it Stash, not Stash Unspoken, Stash Privé, I think it was called. A friend was here the other day, and it was also really, really nice, that fragrance. So I really, if you have the chance, look into Sarah Jessica Parker, because I think that she has kind of put her soul into those fragrances. Oh, another fragrance that I've also worn that I know really well is New Look 1947. It's a beautiful floral, kind of musky, perfect fragrance. It lacks a little bit in sillage and longevity, but very nice. Perfect when you don't know what to wear. The Sarah Jessica Parker. What else did I want to say? Oh, one day I wore Chamomile Satin from Dries van Noten, which I really recommended and thought was incredible when I first got it. I have a decant, and then I got a travel size secondhand from somebody, and now I think it's kind of boring. It's really, really good, but it's kind of like, now I know it. There's nothing interesting to discover in it, sort of. It's kind of like this fragrance I tried the other day called Queenie. That was also like, ooh, wow, what is this? And then when it kind of dried down on my skin, I was like, there's nothing more to it. It's like, oh, it's kind of dried down to a generic vanilla. Do I need it? No. And kind of very soft, like it didn't have much of a sillage. Now I don't even know the brand name. Queenie, it's called. It's the only fragrance, I think, called Queenie. So if you're interested, you can look it up and read about it. That was that. Let's see. And then I also wore one day, this was kind of when I, like after 2 weeks in the new place, I was like, oh, I don't want to try something new. And then I tried. I have a travel size of this. It's called Maria Callas from The Merchant of Venice. I don't know if you pronounce her name Maria Callas, maybe. But she was a singer, I think, and she has now a perfume made after her. But this one, I wouldn't say it's bad, but it has, I think it's a Quentin Biche fragrance, and it has Akigala wood, and I can tell, and it bugs me. I don't think I will be keeping this. I don't think it was terrible. It had good longevity. It's kind of a floral. I wonder if I took notes on that one. I found it interesting to wear it like one day. Let me see if I did. I don't know if I did. What kind of fragrance was that now? I think it was kind of like a woody floral, a little of everything type of fragrance. I'm not sure. I can't remember now. But, oh, I do want to mention another really good fragrance before I wrap this up. And that is Sand Dance from Stephane Humbert Lucas, 777. I bought this little packet of samples from somebody, and I tried a few different ones, and this was my favorite from that batch. I thought it was a great sandalwood cacao fragrance with a little hint of whiskey. I don't typically like boozy fragrances, but this one wears so easily. It's kind of like a little bit powdery, a little musky, it's really easy to wear. Oh, do you hear that? There's ambulances outside. There's a lot of that going on right here, but I'm getting used to it. I like the pulse. It's people are getting help. If you think of it that way, then like they're out helping people. Then I really don't mind. It's kind of a necessary sound in the environment. Anyway, this Sand Dance I've really been enjoying. Then I've worn also Apothéose again from Oriza Legrand. I just love that. That projects all day long. I had like 4 little sprays from a decant the other day, and it is so good. A little bit laundry-like, a little musky, a little floral. There's a section of guidance from Amouage that reminds, the kind of the powdery part of it that reminds me a little bit of Apothéose, but Apothéose is so much better. I think they did such a good job with that, and it's such a good bang for the buck. I mean, they come in both 50 and 100 mil. They're roughly the same price though. It's like $130 for the 50 and 160 or 70 for the 100. So yeah, I mean your volume unit price is of course better if you get the bigger bottle, but I think that's such a good fragrance. Really, really good. Then I also just wanted to mention that the Estée Lauder Legacy collection that has just come out is really interesting, way overpriced, but still really good. And my favorite so far, I've only tried them a few times on skin, I haven't tried them properly, is the one called Estée. And I have no like previous experience with the original, so I only know like the legacy version, but it's really, really good. And there's also one for private collection, which is too green. I think the original private collection is much better. What else was there? It's kind of like almost goes all the way to Synthetic Jungle from Frederick Mall. That it's kind of that green, screechy green. There's one called Azure, which I think was really pretty. And there was one white linen, I think. I'm not sure. There are 5 of them. I really want to go back and try them again because I do find them interesting. Okay, I think that's all for now. I'm sorry, this video is a little unstructured. There were some interruptions. Sorry about that. I don't plan to improve the quality, like the technical quality of my videos so much. But I would like to have more of a theme, and I would like to have a little bit better content, you know, like I don't want to go through like a house. I've just noticed that people don't seem to be that interested in a house overview. And what I've also discovered with myself, when I do that, I spend too much time on fragrances that don't intrigue me. Like I am actually trying through the sample set from Da Nam now, that Vietnamese house. And it's just like, do I want to spend all this time and make set like a nice, perfect, structured video that less people watch than these videos where I'm a little bit more personal, just chat about what I've been wearing and maybe a little bit what's going on in my private life. And it just seems that why put in all that effort if it's not as appreciated? I appreciate the videos where I get feedback and there's comments afterwards, instead of me saying, oh, this is my favorite one from this specific house. But I'll say about Da Nam as a summarizing comment is that they're quite subdued. They're not very loud. And apart from Vietnamese coffee, that one is quite unique. I don't think I've smelled any other ones in there that feel super unique. And they're just too quiet for me. Like, I will not be buying anything from that house. I don't think it's worth it. If I look back and like other discovery sets that I own that I've decided to keep, it's Pure Distance. It's kind of like basically like all the fragrances from Pure Distance. Exaltatum, I like basically all the fragrances from Exaltatum. And April Aromatics. I have 20 fragrances from April Aromatics, and there are like 2 or 3 that I don't like so much. One of them I really don't like because it smells just like fresh grapefruit. It might be something for you. It's called Wild Summer Crush. But I love the April Aromatics fragrances in general. My favorite is Lavande Luce, it's a lavender with a little bit of, I think it might be cacao tonka, vanilla, something like that. And it has a little touch of something smoky in there. I just love that. That is so good. And then Lotus Rising is really good. There's something called Muse something. I mean, I'm just going to use up all the fragrances in there. I mean, that was such a good purchase. Otherwise, it's fun to try a whole house, but sometimes you just feel like, no, I know this one now. I also tried through a discovery set from Lorenzo Pazzaglia, and I didn't like it. I didn't like anything, basically. Some of them, I mean, I might have worn, but I just felt like this is just not my thing. I don't need this. They were so gourmandy. They were so sweet. They were so loud. They were so kind of had rough corners. They were not well blended. They were loud in the wrong kind of way. So I'm not going to spend more time. So this is the kind of channel this is. It's just me kind of chatting with you as if you guys were my Facebook friends, with the only difference that you have a special interest that we share. And it's not like for my normal friends, because they would be bored to death listening to this. Anyway, please comment if you have tried any of the fragrances that I've mentioned today. Oh gosh, I forgot to tell you about this fragrance. So there are 2 more fragrances I want to mention. One of them is Slow World from Chasing Scents, that I was kind of off this one because I thought it was too odd. It's a little bit like asphalt. It's a little smoky. It smells a little bit like rain on concrete, like after it's rained. There's something smoky. It has a note of pu'er tea. It's a kind of tea that you drink if you want to like lose weight or get your metabolism going. I have a friend who has a tea shop. She's just taken this in, so I've had the chance to actually put my nose down into the tea bag and smell it. It's very earthy. It doesn't necessarily smell good nor bad. It's just kind of I can't even explain it. I don't know if I can actually pick it up in here, but it is quite earthy. It's also a little bit sweet. I would have maybe guessed that there might have been some cherry in here, some oud, but it's not that. It's, there are other notes in here that kind of give the same. This one I did take notes on. Let's see what it has, because I find this one, I think it's malt. So it has some, I wouldn't call it a gourmand. I have heard people call it gourmand though. Let's see. Wait a minute. But this is a fragrance that I've kind of like put aside. I was like, I don't like this. I'm going to get rid of it. And all of a sudden I was like, I'm going to try it again. You know, just tonight when I'm watching TV. A couple small sprays. I think the dose is really important. I have a tendency to overdose. And then I'm so overwhelmed. Okay, here are the notes. In the top, pu'er tea. In the mid, malt, dragon blood resin. And that's not anything made up. It seems to be like a real resin that exists, like a reddish resin. And saffron. And in the base, vanilla, incense, and sandalwood. So it's deep, it's dark, it's a little smoky. It's sweet, but it's not super sweet. But the first time I tried it, I thought it smelled very much like Oud Bouquet from Lancôme. But it does a little bit. But this one heads in a smokier direction, and that one heads more in a praline kind of direction. It's interesting. This is an interesting fragrance. I don't think it's for everyone, but I like the size, and I'm going to hold on to it. And then there's one more fragrance, a fragrance that I've been wanting for a long time. I've even been considering a bottle. This was about 3 years ago. I just fell in love with this fragrance from a sample that I smelled at like someone's house or something. And it's Amber Magique from Maison Cyr. But it's the only thing that was holding me back was it wasn't available in Sweden, and it was more expensive than all the other fragrances in that line or from that house. It's Alberto Moria's house. And this particular one was like one of the most expensive. I don't know why. And the other ones are expensive in the first place. So I really felt like I needed to love it. But then finally someone bought a bottle in our groups, and I ordered a decant. And seriously, I'm so disappointed. It's really boring. It smells like a designer. It smells like there's so many other fragrances that smell like it. I can't pinpoint which designer it is, but I was like, this is just not good. And I think maybe it's an overdose of Cashmeron. I think Cashmeron gives too much of a, I'm not sure that's it, or if it's the composition in general, but like, I was so disappointed. I've given it one proper wearing. I will not give it more. I'll try to swap that decant for something else, or sell it to somebody, or give it to someone. Kind of it's probably a people pleaser. You know, other people think it smells good, but it just wasn't for me. So that was an example of a fragrance that I have loved and now don't. And Slow World was an example of one that I've not liked and now kind of like again. So I should not get rid of fragrances too quickly. I need to go back and revisit. I have a whole discovery set from Pantomime. I think there are 5 fragrances, and they're really difficult and medicinal, but I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm going to go back to it maybe in a year, and there's a really interesting patchouli one, and there's a cardamom one, and there's, I don't like them today, but maybe I'll like them a year from now. Who knows? Okay, guys, that's all for now.